Now for our Know Your Candidate segment, he was one of the so-called Spice Boys in the House of Representatives and was one of the more popular senators. Well, up until, of course, his name was dragged in a poll fraud controversy during the 2007 elections. Citing delicadeza, Migz Zubiri resigned in 2011 just before the Senate Electoral Tribunal proclaimed another candidate as the winner. Today, Migz Zubiri is running again for a Senate seat. With us, get to know your candidate. Migz Zubiri, thank you for coming to the show.
It's nice to see you.
Thank you.
Again.
All right, what is first your quick reaction after watching that COMELEC report, wherein number one, the COMELEC has decided not to print the receipt anymore.
Yes.
That's actually a voter's receipt, just to check that what you shaded is the one actually counted.
Well, I guess the reason being that they're also worried about vote selling.
Okay.
Because people could actually show the receipt to their local candidates and say, I voted for you, so give me 500 pesos.
So are you okay with that?
I'm just saying that maybe that was the rationale.
That's the rationale.
But of course, as a voter, I would like to see that my vote was actually counted the right way.
Okay.
So there's two sides of the coin there. I would rather err on the side of transparency, and that they should allow to print the printing of these receipts. Because, you know, in an automated election, you really don't know if the machine's actually voting for you or you're voting, what you're voting is the actual count. It's actually going to be counted. So in a way, I feel for the COMELEC. What they want to do is to avoid all this corruption issues on vote buying and vote
supposedly
selling.
additional 5 hours per precinct. But then again,
you know, as long as the counts are accurately counted. That's important for me.
all right.
That's very important.
In the latest surveys, you are now ranking, I would say, am I right in saying you are number 6 or 7?
Yes,
Or you're 5 to 7?
5 to 7.
You're playing 5 to 7.
Yes.
Were you surprised? I mean, considering you lost in 2013,
Yes.
I think it's right to say, in history, are you the only local senator that's ever resigned from office?
I'm actually the only senator that's actually resigned out of delicadeza or any issue.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not sure if I believe Senator Gingona had resigned from the Senate because he was appointed to the vice presidency. But I'm the only one who's resigned out of delicadeza. And you know, Karen, to be very honest, I was very shocked as well in the last year. Whenever you see me, whenever we'd go out and you'd see me, you'd ask me, tatakbo ka ba, Migz? Ang sagot ko, hindi na ako tatakbo. Happy na ako sa pamilya ko. I'm happy
because
with my
losing
business.
must have been traumatic.
It was a very...
it was rejection.
Masakit.
Yeah.
Kasi tinagalog ko pa, masakit siya. It was very painful because I presented my programs, platforms, and what I had done in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. I had a perfect attendance, Karen, for 13 years. I've never been absent since the first day of session as a lawmaker, whether it's Congress or the Senate. I passed a total of maybe 200 measures, and as a member of Congress and as a member of the Senate, but about 47 of national importance. And so I brought that out in the 2013 election campaign. And it was painful that people like myself, Senator Dick Gordon, the guys who were the workhorses of the Senate and the House of Representatives didn't make it. So medyo masakit feeling ko na trabaho ka ng trabaho, kayod ng kayod na, you know, maybe no fanfare, no drama, but we were the ones who were working in the back of all that limelight, but actually making the bills pass. Masakit siya.
So what do you think? I mean, then Koko Pimentel won in 2013.
Yes.
I think he was number 8. And I mean, you and Koko Pimentel, I mean, you both could be your own stars in a teleserye, frankly. But then, what do you attribute it to? I mean,
Well,
that rejection in 2013, looking back now.
It was also a big factor that Koko was and I were fighting. I think it wouldn't be right to say that wasn't a factor. That was a big factor.
Yeah.
So you know,
it matters to voters?
It matters to voters because you know, in a senatorial campaign, Karen, there's no use of fighting anyone because you're actually pushing your platforms and programs. So kung may kaaway ka, it highlights
and there are
certain
12
things, and there are 12.
There are
it
12.
highlights the imperfections. It highlights all these issues. And you know, I think after 2013, nakita siguro ng ating mga kababayan na nung lumabas itong issue ng Napoles, wala ako dun. I'm not in the list. I have no issue of corruption. And then all these issues about congressmen not going to work, senators not going to work, mga absentee members of Congress. And then it highlighted again that I have a perfect attendance, that I'm always going to work. As a matter of fact, I'm always first in and last out. And when I was majority floor leader, we passed 650 measures into the public acts. I mean, this Senate, with all due respect to Senator Franklin Dillon, passed 200 plus measures. We passed 650 Republic Acts during my time as Senate Majority Floor Leader.
Yeah.
And so I'm quite proud of that. And siguro nakita nila na now they're looking for more quality leadership, quality members of the Senate and in Congress. So siguro lumaki yun. And even without campaigning, kasi nagulat talaga ako, Karen. September, ang daming nag-uudyok sa akin tumakbo ulit. And I told them, I'm happy now in my private life. I'm low profile, Karen. You know me, wala akong entourage. I go around the mall by myself. I drive by myself. I don't like any highfalutin specialty VVIP treatment. So, medyo the 5 years that I was out of politics was the best 5 years of my life. Nagkabuo ko ng isa pang baby, si Santi, and we're really happy with my family, my relationship with my wife and all. So
what was the deciding factor? What was the tipping point?
Actually, one time I was in Cagayan de Oro in the airport. I was asked by a senior citizen, na, Migz, tumakbo ka ha? And this was like June or July. And sabi ko, wala po akong planong tumakbo. Napakasaya ko na bilang isang civilian at in my own way doing business in the countryside. And sabi niya, pinagalitan ako, Karen. I'm not kidding you. Nagalit siya sa akin. Huwag kang ganyan. Huwag mo kami itaksil. Tumakbo ka. Kailangan namin ng mga tao. Hindi naman sa pagyayabang na katulad mo na nagtatabaho. Hindi katulad dito. Pabongga lang sila lahat. Pa-showbiz. Ganun. So, that was the first episode.
But then you must have done an internal survey of some kind and you were surprised with the numbers.
I'm a prayerful man, Karen.
Okay.
So what I did was I actually asked for guidance and I prayed to God and I said, Lord, what do you want me to do? 3 days before the elections of 2013, I asked you, if you want me to win, because I was in the edge, I didn't know if I was going to make it or not. Sabi ko, if you want me to win, on Monday, you will make me win. It will be your will. Your will be done. If I don't win, that's your will. You want me to do something else in my life. It's fine. That's why you never heard me say a whimper after the elections. And then, this time I prayed, if you want me to win, if you want me to run, put me in the surveys not lower than 8. So, 8, 9. Kung
Really?
9 ako, hindi na ako tatakbo. If I was 9.
Why?
So, I don't have the funds to generate, Karen, to be able to sustain an electoral campaign where you're in the 9, 10, 11, 12. You need a lot of money for commercials, for radio ads, and all that. So, anong nangyari, Karen, lumabas, SWS, number 8 ako. This was on August or September before filing. And then Pulse Asia came out, I was number 7. So I said, God, if this is what you want me to do, then let's do it. And then I watched General Luna. Sabi dun sa pelikula, hinamon ni General Luna yung kabinete niya. Sabi niya, ano ba? Anong gusto niyo? Negosyo o kalayaan? Bayan o sarili? So when I saw that, I said, this must be a sign. I mean, that's right. Negosyo, kalayaan, bayan o sarili.
So General Luna, the movie pala,
was one of my inspirations. Was one of my inspirations. I'm not kidding. And I said that in my speech in the COMELEC when I filed, and I said that also in my speech when I stood up in the stage with Grace.
Very quickly now.
Yes.
Can you work with Koko Pimentel if you win?
Yes, absolutely.
What is your relationship now?
I greeted him 3 weeks ago. Happy birthday, and I greeted him, and as a matter of fact, I thanked him also for the inclusion of my name in the senatorial lineup of Davao Mayor Digong Duterte. So we've been talking. We're actually very
That's
good.
quite interesting because yes, Koko being I think the chairman, it will go to, I think now it's of course Duterte.
Yes.
But it was Senator Koko Pimentel himself who added you into their senatorial list to adopt you?
I'm not sure if it's him, but because
he
I'm
agreed
also
to
from,
it.
Yes, because I'm also from Mindanao.
Yeah.
And we're both from Mindanao with Mayor Duterte. And so the group of Mayor Duterte together with I'm sure, let's put it this way, he didn't say no.
Okay.
He was acceptable to that fact. But I think right now, they've decided not to have a senatorial slate. I guess it's for the efficient use of funds, and that's an internal party matter. We respect that.
Yeah.
I completely respect that.
Okay.
But I will work well with Koko.
All right.
No problem.
Now, I'm going to ask you, you are adopted by Vice President Jejomar Binay's party.
Yes.
You are adopted by Duterte's party.
Yes.
But, clearly you are running under the slate of Senator Grace Poe. I mean, among the three, where
Yes.
does Migz Zubiri really stand?
Let me put it this way first. I'd like to thank all the presidential candidates who adopted me. That's Senator Grace Poe, of course, Mayor Duterte, and Vice President Binay. I thank them for their support. They're all qualified candidates that make good presidents. My being with the slate of Grace Poe, Senator Grace Poe, was also because of the fact that I'm close to Cheese Escudero.
Okay.
Cheese Escudero and I have been friends since 1998. I was actually secondary sponsor in his wedding.
Okay.
We're very, very close. And so much so that when he brought me in to meet with Grace, I was not even planning to run. He brought me in to say that they could need a candidate from Mindanao. And I told him I was actually not non-committal at that time.
But critics could mistake this as Migz Zubiri being the true politician.
I'm running as an independent. I filed as an independent, Karen. I think it's about time that my personal feeling is that my loyalty will be with the Filipino people.
Okay.
Many times in the past, when I voted against VAT, because I didn't want VAT in fuel and electricity, because at the beginning there was no VAT for fuel and electricity. When they put VAT on fuel and electricity, I voted against it. I'd get calls from Malacanang, I'd get calls from my party mates. They'll take you out of your committee. Why did you do that? When I voted against EPIRA for certain reasons, because I knew there was cross ownership and I didn't like cross ownership, they'd call me again and they say, galit na galit sa'yo si ganito, yung partido galit sa'yo. Now I'm happy. I want to be free from that. I want to be able to make decisions in the Senate that are for the Filipino people. Going back to Senator Grace Poe, the reason why I also like the idea of running with the good senator, she's my age. She's our age, Karen.
So you believe she's a natural-born Filipino citizen?
Yes.
Just very quickly?
Yes.
So you believe foundlings in the
I agree
Philippines
with-
should all be considered natural-born?
Yes, absolutely. And I
Okay.
agree with Susan Roses. Sino naman nagdala sa kanya? Alien? I mean, she could not have
Okay.
been plopped there from another country or an alien being. So she's definitely a Filipino. And I think she should be allowed. She should be allowed to run. And we should let the people decide on this particular issue. And she's already a Philippine senator.
So do you believe magnanakaw si Vice President Binay? Because Senator Cheese Escudero was interviewed in DZMM and he said just recently, yes, I believe.
Well, personally, Vice President Binay has a lot of issues. This is a big issue in his campaign, which is the issue on corruption. He should answer that, but he should answer that in a proper forum. It's not for me to decide, it's the courts to decide. I mean, it's easy for me to say, magnanakaw yan, sira ulo yan, but it's not for me to say that, but it's the proper courts or the proper jurisdiction that will actually give the order for that. So until he's proven guilty, everyone is innocent until proven otherwise.
All right. Okay. Now, the commercial that you actually, the Migz Zubiri commercial is about you passing the Renewable Energy Act.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it's quite interesting because, commercials that have been coming out are more dramatic, or it's more entertaining. So you decided to come out with a fact ad.
Yes, that's my style. Karen, I'm a no-nonsense public servant. I just want to deal with the facts. What have I done? Do I walk the talk? I mean, do I walk the talk? And basically what I did was we passed pieces of legislation that actually help the country and the economy move forward.
So you are proudest of the Renewable Energy Act. Why is that?
If you look at the foreign direct investment in the last 3 years, Karen,
$6 billion.
$6 billion,
Yeah.
almost 50% of that, or a little over 50%, were actually investments from the renewable energy industry.
Really?
Yes, all these solar plants that you see, the
So
Pililla
is the
wind
feed-in
farm.
tariff because of that act or not
Yes,
really?
also,
Okay.
the feed-in tariff is part of that because it's an incentive for these people to
Okay.
come in and to build. But we are now becoming to be the RE country or capital of the world.
Yeah.
Not just Asia. We've got 406 projects in the pipeline.
So-
Karen, these are DOE estimates. These are not from me.
Yeah.
406 projects. Prior to the Renewable Energy Act, we only had 20 RE projects. Those are the old hydroelectric plants in Mindanao, yung wind turbines sa Bangi Bay.
Okay.
But as soon as we passed and approved the Renewable Energy Act, which I'm very proud of, we brought in 1 trillion worth of investments. DOE estimates to 1 trillion. We brought in 406 new projects. We gave 3 million jobs to our Filipino brothers and sisters, mostly engineers in the civil works area. And right now we're having problems in the Middle East. we're having problems because a lot of the Middle East workers are being displaced.
Yeah.
They can actually be absorbed by our RE industry, renewable energy industry, in solar power, in hydro, geothermal. I met a group here while I was having dinner in Makati last night, and they came up to me and we're building 12 megawatt hydro plant in Mindanao. We're actually employing 1,000 people. That's music to my ears. I feel really good that we passed legislation that actually helps an industry or creates an industry.
All right, I was going to ask you, you were also pushing when you were still senator for biofuel.
Yes.
Are you still using biofuel in your car?
We are all using biofuels.
Okay.
It's a 10% blend. Right now, I'm happy to say there's about 10 ethanol plants that are built. We have biodiesel plants all over Mindanao and Visayas. And you know, biodiesel is actually helping our coconut farmers. The reason why we pushed for the biofuels law, Karen, was actually to help our industry, our agricultural industry, our sugar farmers and our coconut farmers, so that they have an alternative use for the product.
Now, one of the criticisms against you on this was critics had said the reason you were pushing for biofuel is because the Zubiris are landed in Bukidnon. I mean, they have a sugar plantation over there. So clearly, it's, you know, he wants to push for biofuel to, it's sort of to reinvent the sugar industry, including their own. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
We're actually in pineapple, and we're just leasing the land. We complied with agrarian reform in as early as 1990. We completely gave up all our lands, and that's on record. We don't have a single. Siguro the area,
so like
my
today,
name is less than 10 hectares with my family, with mine, with my children and my wife.
Yeah.
So
you're leasing land.
We comply. We're leasing land, but it's on pineapples.
It's But are you still, I mean, an owner of the pineapple company?
No, we have a contract growing scheme with Dole.
Okay, all right. No, but you're running.
Public record. But my point there was the sugar industry, kasi Karen, was facing tough times, especially with the ASEAN integration.
Okay.
You have to remember that because of the ASEAN integration, we are now allowed to import cheap sugar from Thailand.
Yeah.
If we import cheap sugar from Thailand, sugar industry will die. That's 5 million people directly and indirectly involved.
What would you do?
So that's exactly what I did.
Okay.
We needed to come up with an alternative product for sugarcane.
Okay.
Instead of using sugarcane for sugar, which is really not really a primary food. It's actually an additive, which is really bad for you. Actually, the World Health Organization came out. It's the number one bad health risk. So right now, the sugar industry, we should transform it into a fuel industry and a power industry. So under the law of the RE and together with the biofuels law, almost all sugar refineries and our sugar mills are now also biomass producers. They produce energy.
Okay.
At the same time, from the excess bagas, which is the crushed sugarcane. At the same time, the juice now is used as fuel. We are now running, all cars now are running on 10% ethanol blend. We're helping the sugar industry. If you interview
and do you
farmers,
claim that? Do you claim that victory?
Yes.
Do you claim is that a Migz Zubiri? Is that a Migz Zubiri victory that all cars now are running on 10% ethanol?
Yeah, because a lot of critics were saying, ala, masisira yung kotse natin. You know, that's a big issue. Binanatan ako ng car manufacturers, binanatan ako ng oil players. Of course, the oil players would be against me because we're taking away 10% of their income. It's now actually going to the farmers. So if you interview the farmers in Negros, in Cebu, in Davao, in northern Luzon, there's also sugar in northern Luzon, in Tarlac, they're all very happy because their value of their product increased. So they have a better life. They have a chance of a better life. And then we also increased the biodiesel blend to 2%. So now the copra farmers have an option. Will they sell it to the copra buyers or will they sell it to the biofuels buyers, which will give them better value for their copra?
Okay.
So we came up with that industry, and I'm very proud of that. And you know, going back to the vehicles, they said masisira yung kotse. It's been how many years? 7 years? Not one car I've seen has broke down.
Before we go to a quick break, I'll ask your views, yes or no, or with reservations on the biggest issues right now facing the nation. Just one quick question. You know, some people viewed you as fluff. Ay, Migz Zubiri, pagwapo lang yan, tiso yan, nagpapakyut lang yan sa Senado. And yet you speak passionately about certain issues. Clearly, your track record in the Senate, I mean, shows that you are a working senator. What do you want to say to those that don't take you seriously?
Look at my track record. I walk the talk. I'm not bolero. I'm no nonsense kind of public servant. No nonsense. If you ask I think the best people to ask are the people who work in the Senate. Hindi naman sa pagyayabang sa 2013 they elected me number 1 among the senatoriables in the Senate. I think the best people to ask are the people you work with. And I think they recognize the fact that I'm a hardworking senator. and I'm passionate with what I push for. I mean, today I'd like to say today.
Okay, quickly,
today's the
quickly.
anniversary. Today's the anniversary of the new cooperative code, which I'm the author, and that has benefited 27,000 cooperatives and as much as 8 million members. And it incentivized cooperativism. It gave them tax breaks. And now, my gosh, we've got farmers cooperatives, fisher folk, we've got women's cooperatives, teachers cooperatives that are doing so well that they're funding their own programs. They're funding their members without having to go through banks. And that's my law. So these are no nonsense laws that are actually helping people. And that's the Migz Zubiri way of public service. Creating legislation that will help people.
Your reaction on Manny Pacquiao's statement?
You know, full disclosure, I'm the compadre of Manny. I'm the ninong of his daughter, Queenie.
Okay, but
so I feel bad for him. He's in a big firestorm now.
Okay.
I respect his views. He's a Christian pastor. So that's his personal views. Maybe what was wrong was he compared them to animals, which maybe he shouldn't have done. But I respect his views on that.
Should someone like Manny Pacquiao be running for the Senate?
Well, he's the Filipino dream. I just want to put this in proper context. In the United States, there's the American dream. Siya yung Filipino dream. Nagbubuhat ng isda doon sa General Santos, tapos now he's Manny Pacquiao, the world-renowned boxing icon. So, it's very difficult for him not to seek a position where he can actually help a lot of people.
Okay, so same-sex marriage, what's your point of view?
My personal opinion, I'm not in favor. I'm in favor of looking at probably unions, legalizing unions that could help them with the disposition of properties, in the ownership of properties. But I'm for the LGBT rights. I'm pro-rights for LGBT. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to file a bill that will give them anti-discrimination rights because they need that. This day and age is 2016. We should look at this with an open mind.
So you are for first, you want equal rights for the LGBT community. Is that correct? Equal rights, equal rights.
And no discrimination.
No discrimination. Yes. So you cannot fire someone because that person's a transgender. You cannot not hire someone on the basis that that person's gay. That kind of rights. Okay, one. When you say you want civil unions, what's the difference with marriage? When in the US, when the Supreme Court made the decision on legalizing same-sex marriage, it was on legal grounds.
Well, it's just as I said, it's my personal opinion because I'm a Catholic, I'm a practicing Catholic, and that's how I feel. But we're open to discussions and debates on the issue.
Most of the same-sex marriage ceremonies are non-denominational.
Yes.
I mean, that's a fact. So are you, I'd like to rephrase. Are you for same-sex marriage in the legal sense?
Karen, I'll be honest with you. I can't force a Muslim to eat pork.
Okay.
Even if I tell him pork is good, then it's not bad for you. But they'll say because of their religious beliefs, they feel that they cannot eat pork. This is my personal and my own personal belief that I'm not in favor of same-sex marriage.
In churches?
In churches.
In churches.
But I said,
but what are you in favor for?
To debate for legal unions wherein it's the disposition of properties. I know many of the problems of the LGBT community, especially when they've been together with a partner for so long. It's like, yes, they're together, but parang boyfriend lang or girlfriend na wala naman legal union, so that when they own properties, what happens, it goes back to the families. It doesn't go to the partner.
So you want to give them more in the law?
More in the law, in the law. But on a personal, again, because of my religious beliefs, I'm not really that much in favor of same-sex marriage as marriage per se.
So Migz, do you think same-sex marriage is a sin?
Wow, that's a very difficult question to answer. I will not answer that right now because I don't want to be in Manny Pacquiao's firestorm. But then again, let me just put this in a proper perspective. I am pro-LGBT rights. As a matter of fact, I will file a bill for anti-discrimination of LGBT community.
Okay, and you are pro same-sex unions.
Yeah,
okay, that's correct.
Some sort of giving them some sort of legal protection.
Okay, all right. But are you willing that they're recognized as husband and wife or partners?
You're putting words in my mouth.
No, I'm curious.
No,
I'm curious.
Answer that. So basically, giving them,
would you want
recognizing them legally as partners, why not? We are open to that discussion and debate.
So you are open to that. That let's say
Yes.
Mr. Migz Zubiri and Mr.
Yes.
Alan so-and-so, they are partners. That
Yes.
that local society would know them. The
Actually,
Philippines would know them as such.
The U.S. started as that.
Okay.
The U.S. started as that, and then the Supreme Court, of course, broadened it and
Yeah.
made it more liberal. But that's how they started. It's on the disposition of properties, on the ownership of properties, because they don't have that legal entity, ika nga. Even the Securities and Exchange Commission under our corporation code recognizes partnerships. So, you know, we can tweak it that way.
Okay. All right. Divorce.
I'm not in favor of divorce.
Under any condition, I was very surprised. Senator
Yes.
Kiko Pangilinan yesterday said he agreed to divorce on a certain condition if both the characters of people in the marriage were brought down to such low levels and they were destroyed.
You know, we have legal remedies under the law now. Maybe what we should do is take a look at the law on the discrimination on the woman's side.
Okay.
Because apparently, if the guy has a girlfriend, the penalties are not as harsh as maybe with a woman who has a boyfriend. And then, you know, the adultery issue and all
Yeah.
that, it's a more harsh penalty for the woman.
Yes.
So we're looking at
And for a
probably-
man, we have to prove concubinage.
Correct.
Which is not fair
soften that.
for women.
We can soften that. We can relook at that, and revisit that. What's important is that we passed already women and children's laws on anti-discrimination of women and children. We've passed laws against the discrimination of even wives and battered women. We have the new battered women law.
So would you want
basically,
annulment, cheaper, easier?
easier annulment. We have to
Okay.
come up with a way of making annulment an alternative choice.
So talagang with reservations ka, no?
Yeah, with
Now,
reservations.
would you consider divorce as a sin?
No, well, annulment. You know, annulment is allowed by the church, and even I was going to say Saint Francis, but Pope Francis actually recognizes that if your marriage is annulled, he said, let's welcome back them to the church, to
Okay.
the community. So, it's not a sin.
Would you consider yourself a conservative? Is Migz Zubiri a conservative?
I'm a socialist conservative.
Okay,
Let's put it
if
that.
you were
There is
a senator, then would you vote for the RH bill?
No, going back to the divorce. Going back to the
Okay,
divorce,
divorce.
Karen, really quickly. What I'm trying to avoid is dysfunctional families.
Okay.
You know, I have a lot of friends
We
in
have
the
a lot
States
of
who live.
questions pa.
I have a lot of friends in the States who live there and say that, you know, people just go up and say, let's get married. Anyway, next week we can divorce. Or let's get married and have kids, and then they divorce after 3 years. So many dysfunctional families, so much suicide, so much drive-by shooting, so much massacre, so, you know,
Okay.
kids shooting
All right.
other kids.
Okay,
So
if
I
you
don't
were-
want that. I want to avoid that in the Philippines.
Okay, if you were a senator, then would you have voted for RH?
With reservations, you know, I don't mind the condom use, but I'm anti-abortion.
Okay.
I'm completely anti-abortion.
All right, BBL, yes or no, or with reservations?
BBL and an amended BBL. The
Okay.
Senate version of the BBL is what I would prefer.
So the bill bar, the one that
Yes.
Senator Bongbong Marcos
yes,
did?
that's
Okay.
a version
All
that I
right,
would push.
political anti-dynasty bill.
I am in favor.
All
and I
right.
will vote for that.
Yes.
Even though maybe some of my family members would be hit, but we've discussed that, and we've said that we will vote in favor.
Would you consider yourself the product of a political dynasty?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, being the son of a former politician as well. But let me put on record that if there is a bill on the floor on political dynasties, I will vote in favor.
All right, freedom of information bill, it passed in the
Definitely.
Senate, but then in the House, the right to reply is the issue. Is the right to reply needed?
You know, the Freedom of Information Bill, as it was worded in the Senate, was passed during my time as Majority Floor Leader. We passed it the fastest, quickest time. We did it in 6 months. No hoopla, no drama. We passed it. We pushed it to the House of Representatives.
Okay.
So, yes, I'm in favor, completely and totally in favor
Okay.
of a FOI bill for transparency.
All right, income tax reform, which is President Aquino trashed it. I mean, you have some say that the government can afford it. Where does Migz Zubiri stand?
I am for the reduction of income taxes. For the record, I want
Okay.
to push for 25% reduction for corporate and individual income tax. Karen, we have the highest tax base in Asia, in Southeast Asia. The lowest, the next to us is Indonesia, 25%. That's why we're losing all the foreign direct investment. Nobody wants to invest here. The reason why there's foreign direct investment is because of my RE law. Pwede ko ng pagyabang. Yung Renewable Energy Act, because under the RE law, we put a tax exemption on all RE companies. They have 7-year income tax holiday, and after which they have a 10-year, they have a 10% corporate income tax. That's why they're coming in. So, but lumalago yan because of the income taxes that the tax reform that we gave in the law. So, it makes sense. we lower our income tax, both corporate and individual. More people will have buying power, spending power. People like yourself will have now 7% savings that you can go to the malls, you can take your kids, bring them to Jollibee, McDonald's, enjoy your life a bit more. The economy is better. And if they're saying that no, because government will lose money, I don't believe that. That's baloney. Why? Because if you look at all the COA reports in the last in 2014, we are underspending. There's so much money. Government is awash with cash. They don't know what to do with it. Let's now give it back, some of that back to the people.
Okay, all right. Death penalties for drug trafficking.
Yes, I'm in favor of death penalty for drug trafficking
But
and
this is
mass
quite,
murderers.
But this is quite surprising, considering you seem conservative on some issues. For the death penalty, you are pro.
You know why, Karen? I have to be consistent with my stand. I filed the reimposition of the death penalty law for drug trafficking because it's getting out of hand. That's the reason why Digong Duterte, Mayor Duterte, is getting so popular, because places in Tondo, in Pasay, all these squatter areas in Manila, in Quezon City, it's so rampant that the tanods, the barangay officials, don't want to do anything about it, because when they apprehend the drug pusher, they get killed the following day. So what is it? We gotta put fear back into their eyes. You know, fear of God back into their eyes. Now, what is my alternative? If the church lobbies and the European Union lobbies for this is my alternative. Let us build the biggest and best facility for these individuals, or these lawbreakers, where they're in isolation. Put them in a 2-by-4 meter cell with their own toilet, and they cannot go out. They can only go out once a month. That will put the fear of God back in their hands. And not these facilities that we have now that are country clubs. I mean, they've got jacuzzis, and they've got all sorts of these nice equipments. They've got all these toys and toys for the big boys. Let's put them in a new facility, just like the Alcatraz or what they have in the United States, those penal federal
all right.
jails.
Clear. Are you in favor of house arrest for former President Arroyo?
Yes.
Okay, already.
And
Why?
why? Because I believe that no one is above the law, Karen. No one is above the law. Whether you're the president or you're a janitor of a government agency. If you do the crime, then you must do the time. I mean, you have to pay for whatever sins that you've done for breaking the law. But I'm also a belief of the equal protection of the law. And when I say that, all the co-accused of former President Arroyo are out on bail. She's the only one that is still in jail and incarceration. All her co-accused, whether it was because of the electoral fraud issue or because of the issue on the PCSO, all of them are out on bail. So why is she the only one left there? I think that is quite unfair. I think that equal protection of the law should come in, and the Supreme Court should act on that.
All right. On that note, federalism, very quickly.
I am in favor of federalism, and I think all presidential candidates should be open to that discussion.
All right. Charter change, the economic provisions.
Yes.
You are already.
Except for ownership of land, agricultural land, to foreigners. It should be limited to commercial and industrial land.
All right. On that note, Migz Zubiri, so are you ready? Why you? Quickly,
Why
make
me?
it one sentence.
Because I walk the talk, and I'm no nonsense public servant. Look at my track record, and it'll speak for itself.
All right. Thank you very much.